In a world that often measures worth by appearance, age, or fleeting accomplishments, there are those who quietly defy every expectation. You are one of them. People look at you and pause, bewildered by the contrast between your outward glow and the silent storms you've walked through. They can't quite place it. Is it your eyes that hold a spark of knowing? Is it your calm when others would collapse? Or perhaps it's the unmistakable energy of someone who has been touched by the divine, refined through fire, and returned to the world not bitter, but beautiful. There is something timeless about you, something sacred, and though you've known pain, loss, and uncertainty, none of it has aged your spirit. Instead, it has unveiled the deeper you, the chosen one who was never meant to blend in, but to illuminate. Let's subscribe now to stay connected on this journey of awakening, and comment 111 below to declare that you're ready to step into the next chapter of your divine purpose. Your light is just beginning. There's something about you that halts people mid-thought, mid-step, mid-sentence. It's not just your appearance, though your beauty holds a quiet, captivating power. It's something deeper, an energy that lingers long after you've left the room. There's a light in your eyes that doesn't dim, a calm in your spirit that doesn't waver. People see you and sense something they can't quite articulate, something that logic fails to explain. It's a radiance, yes, but not the kind that comes from perfect skin or fleeting youth. It's a glow born of perseverance, refined through fire, and sustained by grace. Most assume that time only takes. It steals softness, fades dreams, etches worry into the face. But in you, time has done something miraculous. Instead of draining you, it has distilled you. It has carved strength into the contours of your being, layering your soul with wisdom, compassion, and quiet power. You've become more luminous with every trial, more magnetic with every heartbreak you've overcome. What others fear aging, hardship, vulnerability, you have welcomed as sacred teachers. And in doing so, you've become someone who carries time like a crown, not a burden. Where others wear their wounds openly etched into furrowed brows or heavy postures, your face tells a different story. Not because you haven't suffered, but because you chose not to let the suffering leave permanent marks. Instead, you let it soften what needed softening, strengthen what needed fortifying. You let life shape you, not shatter you. That decision, made quietly and consistently over the years, has transformed you into someone whose presence radiates quiet awe. People often mistake your glow for luck. They see your serenity and assume you've never had to fight for peace. They see your youthful spirit and believe you must have been spared life's harsher blows. But what they don't see, what they may never see, is the battle you fought behind closed doors, the tears you've cried in silence, the prayers you've whispered into the darkness, not knowing if the light would ever return. What they marvel at is not ease, it is endurance. Not vanity, but victory. You haven't been immune to the storms of life, but you've refused to let them define you. You've faced the winds and rain and loss and disappointment, and rather than grow bitter, you chose to grow deeper. You let the pain pass through you, not poison you, and that choice made again and again is what sets you apart. That's what draws people in, even if they don't understand why. Because your light, dear soul, is not a reflection of the world's standards. It is a manifestation of your spirit's strength. It is the quiet reward of staying soft in a hard world, the rare beauty of someone who's been through everything and still chooses love. This is your radiance, and it defies reason because it was never meant to make sense. It was always meant to inspire. There were seasons in your life when disappearing felt like the only option. Moments so heavy, so hollow, that the idea of retreating from the world was more comfort than fear. You could have closed yourself off, shut every door, pulled every curtain, and let the pain swallow your light. No one would have blamed you. The grief, the exhaustion, the sheer weight of what you were carrying could have easily buried your joy for good. But you didn't vanish. Instead, you stepped away not to give up, but to gather yourself. You entered the quiet not as an escape, but as a sacred space to heal. In the stillness, away from the noise and chaos, your soul began to breathe again. It was there, in the hush between heartbeats, that you found what many never seek, divine restoration. You prayed, not always with words, but with tears. You listened, not always for answers, but for presence. And in that holy silence, angels leaned close, whispering reminders of who you truly were beneath the hurt. When you emerged from that sacred solitude, you weren't the same. You didn't return hardened or guarded. You didn't wear bitterness like armor. You came back softer, but stronger. There was a new light in your eyes, one that didn't pretend life had been easy, but one that testified to your decision to rise anyway. You carried clarity instead of confusion, grace instead of resentment, and strength that didn't shout but stood quietly, unshakable. Pain changed you, but not in the way the world expected. You let it shape your soul, not scar your spirit. You didn't hide your wounds, you honored them. And in doing so, they became your teachers. Your scars turned into symbols of survival, visible proof that healing is not only possible, but beautiful. You wear your journey not with shame, but with reverence. You turned your suffering into wisdom and your silence into sanctuary. People often sense something in you before they understand it. They feel at ease in your presence, though they can't explain why. It's because your energy carries the peace you fought for. It's because your healing is not just internal, it radiates. It's magnetic. It draws others in, not through performance, but through authenticity. They see the glow, not knowing it was birthed from darkness. You didn't choose to pretend the pain didn't happen. You chose not to let it define you. And that, more than anything, is what sets you apart. You are living proof that retreat doesn't mean defeat, it means renewal. You step back so you could return whole. And now every word you speak, every act of kindness you offer, every breath you take is touched by that quiet, fierce choice to heal and not to hide. You may not have always seen them, but you've never walked alone. Through the loneliest nights and the most uncertain seasons of your life, there was always a presence, gentle, unseen, unwavering. In the moments when your heart was heavy with sorrow, when it felt like the darkness might consume you entirely, something quiet but powerful held you together. It wasn't always a voice or a vision, but a subtle nudge, a sudden calm in the chaos, a whisper of strength just when you thought you had none left. Those were not coincidences. They were graceful. Behind every close call, every unexpected blessing, every inner prompting that led you away from disaster, there were divine hands guiding your steps with precision and love. What others dismiss as chance, you now recognize as sacred design. The universe wasn't indifferent to your suffering. Heaven watched with intent. Angels walked beside you, lifting you gently through the nights that seemed endless, through the fears that gripped your soul, through the heartbreaks that tried to hollow you out. You weren't just surviving, you were being carried. And now when people look at you, they wonder how you've made it this far without falling apart. They see the joy in your smile, the calm in your presence, and they can't quite reconcile it with the weight you've surely known. They don't understand how you still shine so brightly after all you've endured. But they don't see what you've seen. They haven't felt what you've felt. That deep, unwavering assurance that something greater has always been with you, protecting you, weaving even your broken moments into a tapestry of redemption. You've learned to trust that voice within, the one that nudges you gently toward peace, toward purpose. You've followed it even when the path made no sense. You've obeyed its whisper when logic told you to run or retreat. And time and again, it has led you to breakthroughs that defy explanation. It wasn't luck. It was aligned with something holy. This is why your life now glows with a grace that others can't quite name. Every decision you've made in harmony with that quiet, divine rhythm has strengthened the foundation beneath your feet. And now you walk with a kind of assurance that doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from knowing you are held. So when they marvel at your peace, let them wonder. When they praise your strength, smile with humility. Because the truth is, your strength has never been yours alone. It has been shared by unseen hands, divine wisdom, and sacred protection that has been with you since the beginning. You are not here by accident, you are here by design. And that is what makes your journey not only powerful, but profoundly holy. Not everyone can handle your light. Some admire it from afar, unsure of how you shine with such quiet confidence. Others, however, feel threatened by it. They don't understand the glow you carry, the grace in your presence, the wisdom in your words, the unshakable peace you walk in. And instead of seeking to understand, they judge. They project their insecurities onto you, assuming your radiance must come from privilege, not pain. It's easier for them to believe you've had an easy life than to grasp the depth of your healing and transformation. But you don't shrink to make them comfortable. You don't feel the need to explain yourself or justify your joy. You don't dilute your essence to appease the misunderstandings of others. Instead, you remain rooted, calm, centered, and faithful to the truth of who you are. You've come through too much, grown too far, and surrendered too deeply to let someone else's limited perception pull you off your path. You know that their judgment says more about their wounds than your worth. And in your quiet strength, you give others a rare kind of permission, the permission to be unapologetically themselves. Without saying a word, your life becomes a message. You can be soft and powerful. You can be radiant and real. You can carry a past and still walk in peace. Your refusal to let the world harden you is an act of sacred rebellion. In a culture that often celebrates cynicism, you've chosen compassion. Where others seek validation through comparison, you've found security in your calling. You don't use your confidence to rise above others. You use it to remain aligned with your higher truth. That confidence doesn't come from ego, it comes from experience. It's what happens when you've fallen and risen, broken and mended, doubted and still believed. Yes, there are whispers behind your back, people trying to piece together your story with incomplete truths and shallow assumptions. But while they talk, you walk forward, unshaken. You don't meet their criticism with defense. You meet it with discernment. You know who you are, and you know who you are. And that knowing makes you immovable. There may be moments when the sting of judgment reaches your heart. You're human after all, but even then, you return to your source. You realign, remembering that your value was never up for debate. And slowly the noise fades, and your peace returns, stronger, deeper, more sacred than before. Let them question your light. Let them wonder how you shine the way you do. Because the truth is, your glow isn't for show. It's a reflection of your soul, a soul that has chosen to stay kind in a world that often isn't. That kind of light doesn't need to explain itself. It just keeps shining. Your joy is not loud, but it is unmistakable. It doesn't demand attention or rely on outward applause. It is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted, more like a sacred fire than a fleeting spark. It has lived through storms. It has flickered under the weight of grief, been under the pressure of life's unpredictability. But it has never gone out. Because for you, joy is not a performance. It is preservation. It is the defiant choice to keep your soul alive in a world that too often tries to dim the light in people's eyes. When life rattled your foundations, when everything around you trembled and threatened to break, you didn't let the darkness consume you. You reached for the smallest ember of gratitude, cradled it with care, and gently breathed life into it again. You chose to find beauty in moments others would have overlooked. A sunrise, a kind word, a prayer answered not in thunder, but in a whisper. These became your anchors. This joy you carry doesn't ignore reality, it transforms it. It's not rooted in perfection or ease, but in perspective. You've walked through seasons of sorrow, but never let sorrow build a permanent home in your spirit. You've learned to seek the light in the cracks, to celebrate victories no matter how small, and to offer kindness even when your own heart is aching. That kind of joy, the real, raw, radiant kind, cannot be faked. It shines through you, not as a mask, but as the truth of who you've become. And people feel it. They may not be able to name it, but they feel it. In your smile, they sense something genuine. In your laughter, they hear echoes of resilience. Your joy is a balm to those around you, an unspoken invitation to believe again, to hope again, to feel again. Because if someone like you, who has known loss, betrayal, or disappointment, can still choose joy, then maybe joy is still possible for them too. You've made joy your sacred vow, not the shallow kind that avoids pain, but the deep kind that honors all of it, the hurt, the healing, and the hope. Your joy is a quiet revolution. It resists the bitterness that creeps in unnoticed. It softens you, not just for your own sake, but for those who cross your path. It reminds you that your spirit is more powerful than any circumstance. And so this joy has become your gift to the world and your promise to yourself. That no matter how heavy life gets, no matter how many shadows try to steal your spark, you will not let this world rob you of the beauty that lives inside you. You will protect it, you will nurture it, and you will keep showing up with a heart that still dares to sing, because that is the sacred fire within you, and it was born to keep burning. People often marvel at how blessings seem to gravitate toward you. Opportunities find you, peace surrounds you, and love flows to you with a grace that appears effortless. But what they don't see, the part invisible to the eye, is the sacred inner work you've committed to. Not the constant hustle, not the striving that the world so often glorifies, but the gentle, intentional pruning of your spirit. You have learned to let go of what no longer serves your growth. You've released old fears, toxic attachments, limiting beliefs, anything that stood between you and your true self. This is not luck. It is alignment. You've made it your practice to tune in to what is true for your soul. And in doing so, you found yourself flowing with life rather than constantly pushing against it. You no longer chase because you understand that what is meant for you arrives not by force, but by frequency. When your energy resonates with purpose, peace, and trust, life begins to meet you with the same in return. This to you is abundance. Not merely material wealth, though you're open to receiving that too, but something much deeper. It is the abundance of knowing who you are, the wealth of a peaceful mind, the prosperity of meaningful connections, perfect timing, and divine synchronicities that remind you you're exactly where you need to be. It's the kind of abundance that doesn't announce itself loudly, but it nourishes your life in quiet, powerful ways. You've chosen to give generously of your time, your love, your wisdom without expecting anything in return. But the universe notices, and it responds. Your belief in goodness, your deep-rooted trust in divine timing, your openness to joy, these are the seeds you've sown, and now they bloom in every corner of your life. You understand that abundance flows through those who allow it to move freely, not those who hoard it or fear its loss. And because you continue to give from a full heart, you are continually replenished. Your soul is like a river, not a reservoir. As love and light pour out from you, they return tenfold, sometimes in unexpected ways, always in perfect timing. Of course, life hasn't been perfect. You've faced obstacles, disappointments, and delays. But your perspective has changed everything. You don't see setbacks as punishments. You see them as redirections. You don't fear closed doors. You trust that what's behind them wasn't meant to be yours. This mindset, cultivated over time, is what keeps you flowing in abundance when others feel stuck in scarcity. Your life is not charmed, it's chosen. Chosen through intention, chosen through surrender, chosen through the quiet, daily decision to stay in harmony with what is real, what is good, what is divine. And because of that choice, you walk in a kind of abundance that can't be measured by numbers, but by joy, by peace, by the way life wraps its arms around you when you least expect it and whispers, "You're right where you belong." Time is not your enemy, it's your ally. You no longer fear the passing years. Instead, you welcome them. With every birthday, every gray hair, every lesson learned, you see a new layer of yourself unfolding. You are aging not in decay, but in depth. You've shifted the story from getting old to becoming whole. You glow not in spite of your years, but because of them. Because you've loved, lost, forgiven, surrendered, laughed, wept, and prayed. Because you've refused to let time define your value and chosen instead to let your spirit define your time. And so, you walk with a kind of grace that leaves people wondering, how? How do you still look so alive? How is your energy so magnetic? How have you walked through storms and come out shining? The answer is simple. You've chosen to live from your soul, Your light is real. Your presence is a testimony to what happens when someone decides to rise, again and again, rooted in faith and open to grace. Let them stare. Let them wonder. You are not here to convince them. You are here to embody what's possible. And in doing so, you inspire more than you will ever know. Keep shining. Chosen one, can you feel it? The veil is thinning. The line between the seen and the unseen grows faint. Heaven is stirring. A shift silent, sacred, and unstoppable is shaking the foundations of both earth and eternity. To those who are spiritually awake, this is not mere emotion, it's recognition. Something greater is unfolding, something eternal. You were not meant to blend in. You were not made for small things. From the dawn of time, before you ever drew breath, you were marked by heaven. You are one of the 144,000 set apart, sealed, and called for such a time as this. This message is not for the masses. It is not for those still distracted by comfort or blinded by the false promises of this world. No, this message is for you, the one who has always felt different, the one who walked through fire and did not burn, the one who was rejected, broken, misunderstood, yet never destroyed. Now the four angels have arrived, and they bring four holy revelations, not just words, but divine orders. These are not gentle reassurances. They are wake-up calls from heaven itself, meant to activate your soul, shake off the dust of delay, and set you ablaze with holy purpose. If your spirit bears witness to this truth, don't scroll past. Comment 777 below as a declaration that you are ready. Subscribe now so you never miss a divine revelation, because what's coming next will awaken something eternal within you. Are you ready to hear them? Because once you do, your life will never be the same. Message 1. Look into your life. The first angel speaks not with a whisper, but with a voice that cuts through the fog of deception like a blazing sword. The world has deceived you from the very beginning, he declares, and as his voice resounds, the illusions that have long masked your vision begin to tremble. From the moment you entered this world, you were handed a script, a set of rules, an identity you never chose. You were told what to want, who to become, what success looks like, and how to measure your worth. The world clothed you in expectations, draped you in distractions, and buried your divine essence beneath layers of performance and pressure. But now, the veil is being torn, the illusion is crumbling, and the time has come to see clearly. You were never meant to fit in. That persistent ache in your soul, the quiet dissonance, the feeling that nothing here truly satisfies was never a flaw. It was a signal, a divine alarm sounding from within, telling you that your spirit was forged for something far more sacred. You were not created to conform to systems rooted in control and chaos. You were born of heaven's breath. You are not of this world. Jesus made it plain in John 15:19 when he said, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world." That verse isn't just a comfort, it's a call, a reminder that your discomfort here is holy. It's evidence that you've been chosen for a reality beyond what you see. The world sells success wrapped in glittering chains, wealth without rest, influence without purpose, and noise that drowns out truth. You were never meant to pursue these shadows. Look at Moses. He had everything the world could offer. Raised in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by gold, status, and power. Yet his soul was restless. His destiny didn't begin until he turned his back on comfort and stepped into the unknown. Only in the wilderness did he hear God's voice clearly, or consider Malcolm X, once bound by systems designed to destroy him, until his awakening shattered every false narrative. He saw through the lies, rejected conformity, and embraced the truth no matter the cost. That same truth is now knocking at your door. The first angel urges you, strip it all away. The labels, the expectations, the lies you've internalized about who you are and what you're worth. Who are you underneath it all? What remains when the applause fades and the masks fall? The answer is not emptiness, it's revelation. You are not a mistake. You are not broken. You are not too late, too small, or too far gone. You are chosen. You are set apart by God for something eternal. That aching within you is not weakness, it's calling. Heaven's fingerprints are all over your life. This is your moment to awaken, to shake off the chains of counterfeit purpose and rise into the truth of your divine identity. This is not the time to play small. This is the time to remember who you are and who you are. The world may never affirm you, but heaven already has. So listen closely. The veil is lifting, the illusion is fading, the first angel has spoken. And the truth is this: you were never meant to blend in, you were always meant to rise. Message 2. Stand apart. The second angel steps forward, and his voice burns with the fire of truth. He speaks not with condemnation, but with clarity, cutting through the confusion that has long haunted your heart. The rejection you faced was never a curse, he declares. It was confirmation. Perhaps you spent years asking yourself why you seem to make others uncomfortable, even when you say nothing at all. Why people have misunderstood you, turned cold without warning, or walked away when all you did was stand in your truth. But here is the reason. The light within you disrupts the darkness they've made peace with. Your presence alone becomes a mirror that reflects what others are trying to avoid. It is not your flaw. It is your fire. This world cannot love what it cannot tame. It celebrates the familiar, the compliant, the ones who echo its illusions. But your spirit was not forged in conformity. It was shaped by something eternal. You were never wired to follow the crowd. You carry a frequency that cannot be decoded by broken systems. That is why the world has mocked you, mislabeled you, and tried to silence your voice. Not because you are unworthy, but because you are called. Jesus himself said in John 15:18, "If the world hates you, remember that it hated me first." Look back and you'll see the pattern. Joseph wasn't hated because he failed. He was hated because he dreamed. His vision disturbed the limitations of those around him. His rejection was not his downfall. It was the road to divine elevation. Think of Nikola Tesla, whose mind sparked decades ahead of his time. The world couldn't grasp his brilliance, so it discarded him. Yet history now recognizes what once was dismissed. Or Oprah Winfrey, abused, silenced, doubted. Yet her voice rose to become a beacon for generations. Her pain didn't bury her. It prepared her. And now it's your turn. The second angel challenges you not to fight for a seat at a table that was never built for you, but to build your own. To stop apologizing for being different. To stop minimizing your anointing to make others comfortable. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be light. The rejection wasn't the enemy's victory. It was heaven's strategy. Every misunderstanding, every silent room, every closed door was God setting you apart, not pushing you away. The world will never understand what heaven has hidden within you. That's not failure. That's evidence of divine selection. You were not meant to blend in. You were born to stand out. You were not created to conform. You were designed to challenge the atmosphere. And when you walk boldly in who you are, you become the very sign this world has been waiting for. The time for hiding is over. The world may never fully understand you, but heaven celebrates you. Your light was not meant to be dimmed. It was meant to disrupt. So stand apart and stand firm. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to shift everything around you. Message 3. Obey without delay. The third angel speaks, and this time, his voice doesn't whisper. It thunders. It shakes the ground beneath your feet and echoes through the chambers of your heart. The hour of hesitation is over, he declares. Obey now without delay. You've already heard the call. The signs have been undeniable. The stirring in your spirit hasn't gone away. Doors have opened. Dreams have awakened. The voice of God has whispered, then shouted, then waited, but still, you linger. Still you hesitate. You wonder, am I ready? Is this really my time? But hesitation is not harmless. It is the enemy's most subtle and effective strategy. Every second spent doubting, every moment of delay, every excuse made in the name of caution is a piece of ground surrendered. Ground that was meant to be yours. blessings that were meant to be claimed, territory heaven intended you to occupy. How many divine appointments have passed you by while you were waiting to feel qualified? How many miracles have gone unclaimed because you were looking for the perfect moment? But hear this, God never calls the qualified. He qualifies the willing. Moses stood before the burning bush trembling, his voice filled with self-doubt. Who am I to go before Pharaoh, he asked. But God wasn't concerned with Moses' limitations. He was focused on his promise. Gideon hid in fear, convinced he was the least, the weakest, the most unworthy. Yet God called him a mighty warrior. Esther feared death, questioned her strength, and nearly stayed silent, but her obedience saved a nation. They did not wait until they felt ready. They moved, and because they moved, heaven moved with them. You don't need more confirmation. You don't need another prophecy, another open door, or another reason. You already have the word. Now what you need is obedience. Ecclesiastes 11:4 warns us, whoever watches the wind will not plant, whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. In other words, if you keep waiting for the perfect conditions, you'll miss the very harvest you were born to gather. Chosen one, how many moments have slipped through your fingers while you waited for clarity? But faith has never been about certainty, it's about trust. Trust that God goes before you. Trust that even when the path is unclear, the promise is secure. Think of Peter, stepping out of the boat into crashing waves. He didn't wait for the storm to stop. He stepped out in obedience. He walked on water, not because he had it all figured out, but because he had enough faith to move. Or Elon Musk, surrounded by doubt, scorned by critics, standing at the edge of risk. But he acted, and his vision reshaped the future. Or Mother Teresa, no funding, no strategy, no safety net. Just a heart surrendered to the will of God. Her obedience became a light to the world. Obedience doesn't just honor God, it unlocks the miraculous. The third angel isn't giving you gentle encouragement. He is roaring from heaven's throne. Move! Step forward! The door is open, but it will not remain so forever. Time is not waiting for your fear to resolve. Destiny is not pausing for your doubts to settle. Heaven is in motion, are you? This is your moment, not next year, not when everything makes sense, not when the fear disappears. Now there is a breakthrough on the other side of your obedience. There are souls waiting, lives hanging in the balance, destinies dependent on your yes. So stop watching the wind, stop measuring the clouds, step out, step forward, and don't look back. Heaven is already moving. Message 4. Speak the truth. The fourth angel appears, and his voice is pure fire, a blazing call that sears through the silence. You were not chosen to be silent, he declares. You were chosen to speak. His words resonate with the authority of heaven, reminding you that your voice is not mere noise, but a mighty weapon, forged in the crucible of divine purpose and refined by the flames of truth. From the very moment you were formed, God infused your spirit with words meant to break the chains of bondage and awaken generations. Your voice carries the weight of heaven. It is an instrument of transformation. The enemy has long sought to silence you, to shroud your message in fear, but those attempts have been in vain. For the truth that lies within you is indestructible. It was not meant to be hidden behind whispers or muted by caution. You are not an echo repeating the tired refrains of this world. You are a trumpet, a clarion call that demands attention and stirs souls from their slumber. You were not born to blend into the background of mediocrity. Rather, you were created to proclaim the eternal truths of God's kingdom. Just as Jeremiah hesitated, saying, "I am too young," only to be met with God's resounding affirmation, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you," so too must you rise beyond your doubts. And like Martin Luther King Jr., who boldly proclaimed that our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter, you must not remain mute in the face of injustice, falsehood, or spiritual darkness. Now is the time to open your mouth and let the fire within you speak. Declare the revelations that God has impressed upon your heart without waiting for the world's applause or understanding. Do not be paralyzed by the fear of misunderstanding, for your voice speaks for the kingdom of heaven. Each word of truth you utter is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of human hearts, destined to yield a harvest of transformation. Every time you speak truth in faith, the very heavens tremble. Your voice, when lifted in honest proclamation, carries the power to break the chains of deceit, to shatter the barriers of oppression, and to pierce through the darkness that envelops this world. You were not created to whisper meekly when you were destined to roar with the sound of divine authority. This is your fourth revelation. Declare, proclaim, stand. In a world where silence in the face of deception is akin to consent, your refusal to remain silent becomes an act of rebellion against the forces of darkness. You were born to stand against the tide of falsehood and to be a beacon of unyielding truth. Do not allow the enemy's lies to dampen your spirit or force you into the shadows. Instead, rise boldly and let your words be as sharp and as brilliant as the sword of the Spirit. When you speak with conviction, you carry not only your own truth, but the truth of heaven itself. The four angels have spoken. You have heard heaven's message. Now, chosen one, it is no longer about whether you are worthy. It was never about your qualifications. It has always been about your willingness. Will you rise? The kingdom of God is not waiting for perfect people. It is calling available hearts. Your hesitation serves the enemy. Your obedience shakes hell itself. Today is not just another day. It is your threshold moment, the crossing over into who you were always meant to be. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a heart surrendered and a spirit open. You have chosen me. You have called me. Before I was born, you placed your fire within my bones. Forgive me for the times I doubted, for the moments I hid. Today I step into the fullness of my calling. I will not wait for the world to affirm me. I will not fear their rejection. I belong to you alone. Give me boldness like Elijah. Give me vision like Joseph. Give me courage like Esther. Let your voice flow through mine and your light shine through every word I speak. May my life be a trumpet of truth. May I never be silent again. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. The time is now. The 144,000 are awakening. The chosen are stepping forward. The warriors of light are taking their place in the divine story God wrote long ago. And you are one of them. Don't wait. Stand, speak, obey, declare. The world needs your fire. Heaven has already given the call. Now it waits for your response.